Key screens is a big part of what we do, whether it's tagged onto a run game, which I've already addressed a lot in our RPO section, but it's also hard called a lot when we know we have the numbers, the leverage, and the ability to get a playmaker the football in space to really stretch the defense with some width. So the way we do it is we identify things by the numbered receiver, starting from the outside in, so L1, L2, L3, and L4, based on the position of the receiver, and the same thing to the right with R1, R2, R3, and R4 from the outside working back in. And that just tells us who's getting the football, and the other guys on that side know that they're responsible for blocking the most dangerous near threats to give that guy the best chance to make a play. So a few examples before we jump into some of the film. And if you've not seen the RPO segments I've done, the first RPO segment was all about key screens and slide screens being attached to the run. So some of this will repeat from that, but some of this will be how we hard call things. So this is a boundary side throw, which is R1 to the outside receiver. We typically cross block stuff. I'm not a big believer in making it real difficult. So what we do a lot is we allow our kid to understand that if there's a Sam back or nickel player, we're going to seal him with the number 2 receiver and work flat and up to the corner with the number 3 receiver, giving this guy the ability to step up field and turn back and make a play at the line of scrimmage and react according to the blocks. We can hard call this, so we know that means we're going to pass protect it up front. We used to always assign it to a particular run scheme, but our O-line coach really liked the idea of just covering the whole front, just spitting the ball out. So now we protect it on a hard call. Then it's also called in conjunction with the run game, as I mentioned, for any key screen. This is another example. If you got a 2-man side, it's going to be really, really critical for this guy to understand that he runs his key, and he's got to work flat and up to the corner. I've mentioned this in other segments, but any near defender could be the first guy to the football. So if a corner is a bail player and he gets super deep, and the nickel player, the Sam, comes flying across, then obviously the H is going to target the first guy who's going to be the near threat, so the Z can catch the football and make a play. Same thing here. We do this a lot with some of our run schemes where we tag number 2 and we study the leverage of the overhang defender. Sometimes we get an uncovered space where we just spit the ball out on a hard call and just pass protect it up front. But the majority of the time, we're pairing this with one of our run calls. Number 3, same thing. A lot of times with a key to number 3, you're going to have quality numbers out here to block the first thing inside, which is a Sam nickel player. Leave the safety go and block the corner unless you're 3 over 3, which is not super common unless you're in some type of man coverage. And that's how we typically do that. We will hard call this. We'll make a R3 call to the right. We'll call it pass protection, but we also have the ability to tag this on a run game, as I mentioned before. The other thing we do with our key game is, especially when we have some kids that are a little bit more dynamic and can move around a little bit, we will go key 4 and make him the 4th player. Whether he comes from the backfield, we comment him out, meaning we put him in motion, and then the other 3 guys are assigned. So this is a way to combat if you're trying to run key 3 to your guy here and they go man coverage across the board, then you can spit it out to number 4 and go key 4, and then you have these 3 man cover guys completely covered up and spitting the ball in space if you trust that they can get it done blocking wise. So let's look at a couple examples as we kind of work through this. Again, I would encourage you to go back and look at RPO section number 1 as well. So we're going to spit the ball out here. This is off of a run scheme, so this is wide zone to the right. And we got a 52 call. There is nobody immediately over number 2. The overhang defender's near the line of scrimmage. The safety's super deep up top. So he knows that ball down. He spits it out. And we're getting our best player a chance to make the ball. And we'll take that matchup with him and the safety, for a 9-yard gain or whatever it is. Okay, this is a hard call. So we've pass protected this up front. We've called R1, which means we're going to throw it to number 1 to this side. So he's going to work flat and up and dissect who the most dangerous is. Clearly, the only guy who can really defend this is the corner. This is why we've called it. And we're going to work into that spot, and we're going to be +6. We're just looking for production and short, quick throws so that we can make plays and get guys who can make plays to football in a quick manner. This is to the 3 side, so this is L3. So again, our numbers are great. We know that all we got to do is handle this fella right here, and we got to block this here. He's a hard deck player. He's above 10. We don't worry about him. We make him chase it, and then we're going to trust that our skill guys can make plays and make things happen, which is what you see right here. And that's a 4 or 5 yard gain based on how that thing progresses. This is what I was talking about with the 4th player coming out. If you're getting some type of man coverage, you don't like the leverage to be able to throw it to number 3, you can always spit the ball out off a motion to the fourth guy and cover all three players up on the perimeter. And we would hard call this. If you have a quarterback who can run, you can obviously make a quarterback run call out of this as well and do different things that way also. So this is to a trip side. We're going to go L1. So we're going to block this to allow him the chance to make a play here. Numbers and leverage were pretty easy for us to spit the ball out to a senior on senior, not to get him a chance to score a touchdown. Here's another variation. We get into tight end wing quite a bit. Again, this is our best receiver on offense or our best player on offense. We're going to put him in what we call rippy motion. And now we've called L3 out there to him to the left. We've hard called this, and so we have to cover up any edge players, which are these two guys right here, and we're going to spit him the ball and let him run. And you can see, again, when those guys get the football, they make plays as well as schematically putting them in great situations. This one starts a little early, but this is a trips to the boundary. We're just going to spit the ball to the short side of the field and block up the two guys that are there, and we get a nice productive play to a short side throw, which is super simple. Number 2's uncovered right here. We got a run call. It looks like counter, but we're going to go L2 to the left side. And again, if he's uncovered, we're going to trust the quarterback to spit that ball out so that he knows that we can attack the perimeter of the field and make sure that we're going that route with it. So we got a bunch deal to the right. We got trips bunch. You can see that there are two defenders, and we have two to block them. And they're pretty threatening based on the positions that they're in. So this is where, our receivers have to be physical. I put this one on there because obviously we don't execute this. Still feel like this is the right decision. We just got to do a better job right here and then getting to the next guy climbing up so we can catch it and get in that crease and make a play. But we actually lose yards because it's not executed correctly. Okay, we're in trips right, so now we're going to go R4. So this is our back who is pretty dynamic, and so we block the whole perimeter. Sometimes we constrict the formation to try to create leverage. And again, guys, this is essentially like run and toss sweep. You're trying to put a guy who can run in space on the edge, and that's essentially what we did. You can do this off of motion. You can do this off of non-motion, which is what we did right here, and it gives you a chance just to move the ball and make a hard call and protection to get him on the edge. We also will stack our receivers to try to play with the leverage of outside backers. And so if they're not willing to widen people out, it looks like we have a run call here. We will spit the ball out to that guy, and we'll block the guy in front of him and let him run up the field. Again, that's a 7-yard gain that I think is pretty simplistic in the game of football. So that is the end of our key screen attack and how we teach it, but also how we communicate it. With the right and left side, starting from the outside in with our numbering system, knowing that the other guys are responsible for blocking and ensuring that we're able to get the blocks executed at a high level.